Come on, 2K and all the others that are responsible for not having put together a simple 5-minute video breakdown on what is new and what is the same in Universe Mode and all other modes of the game. Before we begin with Universe Mode, there is one option under editing your superstar that you can't do from inside of Universe Mode that you have to do from the extras section under roster and then edit superstars. Say AJ Styles. He's got his attire, attributes, and underneath his AI attributes if you want to change his tendencies or all the different stuff. You would do that from here. Now let's get into Universe Mode. 3 slots. You can choose between Superstar Mode and Classic Mode. If you want to do Superstar Mode, I highly suggest that you begin your journey in Classic Mode for the simple fact that you can make all the changes that you may want to do to your shows as to who is on them and not on them, who are the champions, this, that, and the other thing. You can't make any of those changes in Superstar Mode, but whatever you did in Classic Mode, when you go down to options and switch over to Superstar Mode, all the things that you have done will retain and stay. Okay? Now then, tonight's show, we're starting it off. You'd be playing and kicking ass. If you go down to Superstars, you will see that it basically looks like the menu I just showed you a moment ago, except when you go to edit AJ Styles as an example, underneath attributes, you don't have AI attributes, but you have everything else that was in that menu. Why it's not here? I think it's just a simple oversight. So you may want to come here if you want to change entrances, the moves, his allies, his enemies. You could technically change what show he's on, how he's booed or cheered. You can sort them by all, custom superstars, superstar, which includes both the men and the women. I wish they would have done them separately like they did from when you edit the participants from inside editing a show, which I will show you in a moment. You could do it by overall, you could do it by champions, or you could do it by downloaded superstars. Can you tell I have ADHD and OCD? Then we can go down to tag teams. Same thing as the superstars, but the ones that have banded together. There's 2 sets of Final Testaments, so I went ahead and deleted one of them. And now if I go to highlight over it, that's why there is a padlock on this one. It'll actually hard crash my game. So you can make some changes here if you wanted to the tag team. Rivalries, 4 slots per show. Monday and Fridays, for example, because I'm only doing Raw and SmackDown. I'm not doing NXT. It's too much wrestling. Then we can go to options, which I showed you a moment ago, how you can switch between classic and superstar mode. Everything else here is the same as the last year, except for the fact that you can do intergender wrestling. At the bottom left, another huge change is the gameplay options can now be accessed from inside of Universe Mode. You don't need to back out to get to them. So everything that you would normally be able to change here, the gameplay, the presentation, the balancing, the targeting, the advanced, all the different mini games, you can do all of that from here, which is amazing. Saves you a little bit of time, so that's definitely some welcomed addition for the quality of life feature that they've added here. You can view your champions by all, by men, by the women. See how it's well organized by intergender and by tag. We can go and look at our calendar. The main reason you may want to come here would not be for minor shows like Raw and or SmackDown necessarily, because you can do that from the edit shows section. This one would be more for if you quickly want to go to the PLEs that are like a one-off per year, like a King of the Ring here, and maybe you want to edit your show and you want to make some changes to the match table, what day it takes place on, show details. Maybe you want to put a screen filter on. I tend to do the 80s filter, so you wouldn't want to come here and do that. Okay. Whatever else it is you want to do, that's the same. Maybe you don't want SummerSlam to be 2 nights, so you can get rid of one and simply delete it. Okay. Now, I will show you this again quickly. You could go here and edit Raw, and it brings you to this screen, which is the exact same screen as coming here. This is where I came to delete NXT. No offense, because I just like to do my Raw and SmackDown. So you could just go here and push square, for example, to delete a show. Now, when you select Raw, for example, it brings you to the same screen. Again, show details, right? I've already shown you that. What commentary you'll want, the location it's taking place in, whatever little changes you may want to do. I like to do the screen filter thing, which when you change it on Raw here, it'll change it for all Raws because Raw is Raw, SmackDown, SmackDown, so on and so forth. So make your changes there. I'll go to participants in a second. Max number of matches, 9 again. Match table, everything is pretty much the same. Haven't seen anything different from the prior year. This is where you can set it up so that, for example, I only want one-on-one false count anywhere matches, and I want that to happen 100% of the time. This is in case you've never done this before and this is your first wrestling game. I'm just showing you that that's where you can do that. You could tab over. Maybe you don't want any 2-on-2 matches, so you would click it, make it 0, or just delete the whole thing. How likely it is to happen, the chance of it happening. You would do all that here. Edit championship and Money in the Bank. That's the world title, the men's mid-card title, I guess is how they're naming it. You could add whatever you want here, another championship, any championship that you want. The last two is always where you would put your Money in the Bank. It could be either the men or the women's. You can edit the divisions, okay? You do that here. But you can also do that from backing out and just going to edit divisions here. It's the exact same screen, okay? Where you can add people and remove them from the division of a certain title. Title that you have on your show. Edit the power rankings, the day of which Raw is going to take place. This is the cheese and bacon bits on the macaroni. Okay? This is how it should have been done on all the games and even in the Superstar menu from the one I showed you from the Superstars tab at the beginning of this video, where you can go and sort the superstars by all, by champions, by superstars, aka men. It should say men superstar because now it says women superstar. They're separated by gender. And then there's by DLC, by custom superstar, by downloaded superstar. Oh, look at that. By Raw and by SmackDown. Isn't that amazing? And because we're on Raw, that's why when you look in the middle there, where it says Raw, you can see the little icon for the D-pad. I can switch between Raw and SmackDown. And when I do that, obviously all the people on Raw that you could see disappeared. Well, that's because they're not selected to go on SmackDown. But if you wanted to start just adding them, that's how you would do that. So let me elaborate a little bit more. So the reason why it goes SmackDown and then it's all grayed out, well, it's because by default it's showing Raw. But if I tab over, then all of a sudden, obviously, now they're all highlighted. Now if I go to Raw, they're unhighlighted because I'm on SmackDown in the middle. Did I confuse you yet? Let me just give you a normal example. So we are on Raw. We're editing Raw. So let's talk about Raw. We have Akam here. And I'm thinking, you know what? I don't want him on Raw. I want his ass on SmackDown. So you could just tab over and add him. Now he's going to also be on Raw, right? So then what you do is you just tab back over with the D-pad to Raw. You select Akam to basically uncheck him. That's why it's highlighted in black. And now when you look over at Raw, he's highlighted. Nobody else has been added. All these people are already on SmackDown. He's pending. So now you would go and you would save your changes. You would say yes. Now we only have 62 superstars on Raw. And you could see that Akam is no longer here. On Raw, that is. This is under all. Let me go to Raw. See? Akam is no longer there. But on SmackDown, he's there. Right? So just in case you're getting confused, because I'm not getting confused. I'm getting confused in how to explain it. If you're editing Raw, okay, and you go on Raw, you'll see everybody highlighted from the default screen when you first approach it. This is where you decide who you don't want on said show because all these people are already on Raw. If you want people from SmackDown to head on over to Raw, then obviously you would go to SmackDown, right? And then make sure that it's on Raw because you're going to be switching the show. And then you add whoever you want. But if you don't want them on multiple shows, make sure that you switch it over, right, to the current show they're on. Unselect them. And then move them over and add them and then save. It's really that simple. I'm just making it more complicated than what it is. And I apologize for that. It's the ADHD, it's the OCD, it's me overthinking it and complicating shit. This just makes it so that it is so damn easy to organize your universe. There's also an unassign all which, by the way, if you do that, it literally wipes everybody, not just the section you're in. So if you just want to get rid of the women, for example, because you want to focus on the men's wrestling like I normally do, and you go to Women's Superstar, right? Obviously, between Raw and SmackDown, it's going to toggle. You would just go and you would just start like on Raw here. Then you would just go like this. You'd have to manually do it and remove them that way. Just boom, boom, boom. But now you no longer have to guess who's on what show like in the prior years, right? And then you would just go and save your settings like that. Okay. So this is I said 5 minutes. So much for that shit. But I felt like on that last part, I was struggling trying to explain it. Like in my head, it's simple. And it's so simple that I overcomplicated it. But there it is. Yeah. So, yeah. And when it comes to promos and some of the other stuff they've had, I don't know anything about it because I haven't had a chance to play the goddamn game yet in universe mode. I'm still trying to go through my rise and the showcase to unlock some bullshit. Even though I have the supercharger unlocker, there's still some stuff I have to manually do on my own. I want Big Papa Pump, Big Daddy Booty. Booty Daddy. Whatever. From 03, I want modern day DDP, for example, in my universe mode, and I don't want to start it until I have everybody on board at my disposal. Thumbs up if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me more relevant in search results when people are looking shit up online. You didn't like it, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half, twist it, and give you a solo Sakoan spike where the sun don't shine. And just for the record, it is your own thumb. You ain't getting my thumb. You wish. If you want to subscribe, naturally, that'd be great. But if not, trust me, I don't blame you. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. Hopefully this kind of sheds some light. Thanks for nothing, 2K and 2K Interactive, or whatever the hell the company name is that is responsible for the marketing and the failing at properly explaining and elaborating on all the shit that is new to your yearly game and what's the same. Bye for now.